All right, let's talk about the IELTS writing task 1. Specifically, that one question that can make even the most confident writers just freeze. Yep, the map question. But what if I told you there's a way to turn all that confusion into pure confidence? Today, we're going to break down the exact strategy you need to conquer the map and write a really high-scoring response.
Does this look familiar? You see two maps, a whole jumble of changes, and your mind just goes totally blank. You start listing things off, there's a road here, a building there, hoping you're doing it right, but you've got that nagging feeling that you're missing the point. Trust me, it's a super common feeling.
But here's the good news. You are definitely not alone, and there's a much, much better way to handle this. The real secret to acing these tasks isn't about creating some big laundry list of every single change you can spot. Nope, it's about telling a story.
Okay, let's really dive into what this means, because it's a fundamental shift in how you approach the task. To get those top scores, you've got to stop thinking like an inventory clerk, just ticking off boxes. You need to start thinking like a narrator, telling the story of how a place has transformed over time. So take a look at these two maps of an Australian beachfront. Back in 1950, it's a pretty simple area, right? Fast forward to today, and things have clearly changed. A lot. You can see the road and car park have gotten bigger, and new spots like a surf club and a restaurant have popped up. The key is seeing these as developments, not just a random list of items. And here it is, the actual instruction from the test. The secret is hiding right there in the words. It asks you to summarize, select, and make comparisons. But notice a word that's missing? It never, ever asks you to list anything. Your job is to be a selective storyteller, not some kind of archivist.
So, how do we tell this story of change in a way that sounds great? Well, you need the right tools. Think of this next part as your own personal language toolkit, packed with the exact words and grammar you need to build a fantastic, high-scoring answer. First up, verbs of change. Instead of saying there is a new building, which is so static and kind of boring, you can use powerful verbs like constructed or erected. If a playground disappears and becomes a car park, you can say it was converted or redeveloped. Using these words instantly makes your writing sound so much more descriptive and accurate.
And this brings us to what I like to call the secret weapon for map descriptions, the passive voice. Now, why is this so powerful? Well, it's because on a map task, we don't know who made all the changes, and you know what? We don't care. The focus has to be on the place itself and what happened to it. And this example just illustrates the point perfectly. The active sentence, they built a new surf club, makes you wonder, who's they? But the passive version, a new surf club was built, puts the spotlight right where it belongs, on the surf club. This is exactly what the examiner is looking for.
Okay, the final tool in our kit is the language of location. To get those top marks for clarity, you have to tell the examiner exactly where the changes happened. Was that new restaurant built right next to the beach, or was it on the other side of the road? Using phrases like these is absolutely essential for painting a clear picture. Okay, so we've gathered all our tools from the language toolkit. Now it's time to actually build the thing. This part is all about how you assemble everything into a coherent, high-scoring response, turning all those words into really powerful paragraphs. This quote right here is absolutely critical. A list-style structure will directly hurt your score. Why? Two big reasons. It doesn't show any logical progression, and it makes it really hard to make those comparisons that the task demands. So structure isn't just about making it look neat, it's a core part of the grading. So, what's the game plan instead of a list? This simple 4-paragraph structure. This is your blueprint for success. First, an introduction, where you just rephrase the question in your own words. Second, and this is crucial, the overview.
And then 2 body paragraphs where you group the details logically. For example, maybe you talk about all the changes in the North in one paragraph, and all the changes in the South in the next.
Now, of all these steps, I want you to pay extra close attention to the overview. This is, without a doubt, the single most important part of your entire response. It's a short, powerful summary of the biggest, most significant changes. Before you write anything else, just ask yourself, what's the main story here? Is it about more development, a shift towards tourism? You state that big idea right at the top without getting bogged down in details.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. We've gone from figuring out what the task really wants to building a powerful language toolkit, and finally, to putting it all together in a solid structure. Here is your clear, actionable framework for success. So let's quickly review our map to success. First, remember to think in changes, not just a list of things. Second, bring those changes to life with those dynamic verbs. Third, master the passive voice to keep the focus on the location. And finally, build your story using that logical 4-part structure, always leading with a clear overview that tells the examiner the big picture right from the start. You see, just by shifting your mindset from listing facts to telling a story of transformation, you can turn one of the most feared IELTS tasks into a real opportunity to shine. So, the only question left is, are you ready to draw your own map to a Band 7 score?
Được thành lập 2018 bởi nhóm giáo viên đã có nhiều năm công tác tại các trung tâm lớn uy tín ở thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. IELTS Focus không chỉ có các bạn học viên giỏi là các bạn tiến sĩ, bác sĩ, nghiên cứu sinh, các bạn học trường chuyên, mà còn có các bạn học sinh lớp thường đạt được điểm số IELTS và TOEIC cao nhờ vào phát triển được năng lực tiếng Anh thực thụ. Khác biệt với các trung tâm lớn, đông đúc, dùng chung một quyển giáo trình rập khuôn cho hàng ngàn học viên, lúc đi thi gây nhàm chán cho giám khảo chấm điểm. Đa số các chương trình online hay học trực tiếp tại thành phố Hồ Chí Minh của IELTS Focus chỉ tầm 3 đến 7 học viên, dễ dàng theo sát các bạn, giúp tối đa hóa điểm số nhờ tích hợp nhiều phương pháp trong suốt quá trình giảng dạy. 100% lớp học luyện đề được hướng dẫn bởi thầy Quốc Khánh, IELTS 8.5, Reading 9.0, Listening 9.0 và không có band điểm nào dưới 8. Các bạn có thể theo học tại quận 6, quận 2, quận 9 và quận 11. Nếu các bạn ở xa, có thể chọn hình thức học online, giáo viên vẫn có thể theo sát được các bạn vì sĩ số lớp vừa phải.
Waves rolling in so slow. Trust the tide, let go. Ooh, yeah. Deep blue, take me home. Feel the calm in my soul. Stars above guide me right. Moonlight whispers through the night.